Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. Thank you very much for tuning in. So this showed up on my doorstep just a couple of days ago. That's right, as you might be able to see on the tape, this is from Native Instruments, and they've been very supportive of myself and the channel with software licenses before when we wanted to demonstrate something, and now they wanted to send me some of their latest hardware. Full disclosure, this was sent to me at no cost to myself. Thank you very much to Native Instruments. Your support means a lot. So today we are going to do one of my unboxings. And if you've watched the channel before, you know that an unboxing here means more than just taking the device out of the cardboard box. We will discuss the features, I'll compare it to the competitors, and also to NI's own higher-end series of keyboard controllers. And then we'll hook it up to the computer and try out some of the features, and I'll give you my first impressions. So we do have a lot of ground to cover in this probably long video. Let's go over to the Piano Shack keyboard unboxing area in the other room. Let's go. Yes, I love it when there's a box inside the box. Komplete Kontrol A49. This is the 49 note version. We're going to talk about that in depth in just a minute. We'll get it unboxed first. Smart keyboard controller. Smart! Good. Can compensate for my lack of. Not much else to report really on the box. I was going to read out some key features, but there aren't any listed on the box. We can do that a bit later on the computer as well. Got a manual stuck at the side there, I won't bother with that. I always manage to get it upside down. Let's remove some of this cardboard. Very lightweight, of course. What's with this new trend that all keyboards have to be so ultra lightweight? Come on. This actually feels a little bit heavier than most MIDI keyboard controllers. I was referring more to the synthesizers that you currently get. Make them a bit heavier, that way they don't slide around so much on your desk or on a keyboard stand. All right, we have a lovely matte black textured finish here. Oh yeah, elegant. This is a very handsome looking keyboard. You guys knew that I just had to say that, didn't I? Nice protection. Yeah. Sturdy as you like. I'm pressing there a lot. This is something we do on my unboxings. I push the hardware to the limits. One thing I despise is flexy, badly built plastic controllers and synths. This one, I'm happy to say, is very good, very good. And the keys feel great as well. You can't really do a proper evaluation of the keys without playing some sounds, but they do feel very nice. Yeah, a quality feel. Got your pitch bend mod there, they feel okay as well. Let's take a quick tour of the user interface. Not that there's very much to see when it's all dimmed and unactivated. Yeah, over here then a bunch of buttons for controlling the machine, software or your DAW. And over here is your knobs that are automatically mapped to the Native Instruments software, plugins, or any other manufacturer's plugins that support this NKS format. We'll have to talk about that as well later in the video. And over here we have the selector, data entry. Oh, it's a joystick thing as well. Four-way joystick, twisty, clicky thing. And some buttons up here that I don't know what they do yet. On the back, you've got your USB, foot switch, and a locky thing, Kensington lock. And it's the Komplete Kontrol A49, if you hadn't already figured that out. This is actually very good. And you'll have to take my word for it. I'm not just saying it because it was sent to me. This does feel like a quality controller, and the price of this one ladies and gents, is just $200. At least I think so for the A49. The 25 note is a bit cheaper at 150, and I don't know what the 61 is. But please do check the internet for your up-to-date prices in your area. Anyway, we can't do much more here. Let's go back to the studio area of Pianoshack. We'll connect it to the computer, try out some software instruments and see what it can do. What I'm really hoping to demonstrate for you, for my own benefit here, is how easily this allows you to navigate the presets of Native Instruments plugins and also third-party plugins as well. I find it very tedious at the moment to click through them using the mouse or cursor up and down buttons. Hopefully this will streamline my workflow. That would be a huge advantage if so, but we'll put that to the test in just a second. You might be wondering which size of MIDI controller is best for you, because in general MIDI controllers are available in 25, 49, 61 and 88 note key lengths. So let me offer you a bit of advice. Here you can see then what the 25, 49 and 61 look like. So the 25 is too small to play with two hands, which does rule it out for me because I like to compose and record music by playing both hands at the same time. So I'll be doing chords in my right hand, maybe a melody in my right hand and some bass in the left at the same time. And you can't really do that on a 2-octave synthesizer. At least not in most key signatures. You might be able to just about get away with it in the key of C. But it is fine for guys that are just punching in beats or playing with one hand at a time. And of course this size is the most portable if you want to throw it into a suitcase or a rucksack when you're traveling. And of course it's the cheapest in the range as well. For me the sweet spot is the 49. That's always been my preferred size of MIDI controller for use in the studio. Here you have a 4-octave keyboard that's more than enough for playing two hands at the same time. And it's relatively compact. It's still small enough so you can put it on a coffee table or on your desk and have enough space to put the keyboard behind it and the mouse to the right of it. So yeah, it's the perfect compromise between size and number of keys. The 61 gives you one extra octave, so here we have 5 octaves in total, which is really nice to have that extra bit of room there to play in the upper and lower regions of the keyboard. But this one can start to get a little bit big to put on your desk in front of the laptop or your computer screen, especially when Native Instruments put the mod wheel and the pitch bend over on the left hand side of the keyboard like you see on the screen here. But that's not an issue if you're using this keyboard live on a keyboard stand on the stage, for example. So it's still a nice choice, but it's a little bit more expensive than the others as well. If you want an 88 note controller, then in the case of Native Instruments, you have to step up to the S-Series, which has a lot more features, a bit more sophisticated and a bigger software bundle. But 88 notes are for really a piano player that perhaps plays classical music or jazz music and really does use those top and bottom octaves of the keyboard. But the disadvantage is, of course, they cost a lot more money, they weigh a lot more, and they're not as portable, and they'll take a large amount of space in your studio. They are the ultimate way to play piano and electric piano sounds, but on the other hand, they're not so good for playing organ sounds or synth sounds. So really you have to decide what's most important for you when you're choosing which instrument to get. So for me, the 49 is perfect, but I want you to think carefully about what's best for you. Is it the space and the portability that's most important, or the number of keys, or perhaps even the price? Before we hook this up to the computer, I did want to discuss just a couple of the features and one killer feature in particular. Okay, we've actually got a release date here. I'm surprised it's way in the future, October 23rd. You can pre-order now. I'm just seeing here, perform on a custom NI keybed. Interesting, 25, 49, 61 semi-weighted keys. They don't feel weighted at all to me, to be honest. We're not going to dwell on the normal features here. I see this keyboard is loaded with the normal features like controlling your DAW, controlling plugins, you've got your rotary encoders and so on. Let's not dwell on that. I'm going to go down to some more highlight features that really make this one stand out from the competition. This is something I definitely want to put to the test. Find your sounds faster. I find it to be quite tedious to browse through presets, and there are thousands of them in the Native Instruments software plugins. So hopefully this will streamline the workflow for me. We shall see later on in the video. Okay, this is the killer feature that I really did want to highlight here. I think Native Instruments are doing a pretty generous software bundle with this relatively low price instrument. They're claiming 4,500 sounds and a 10 gigabyte library of content. Everything you need to start making music. And these first three instruments coming up on the screen here that are included are not light versions. These are the full-blown, fully featured versions of Monarch, which is a Moog, a Mini Moog, sorry guys, a Mini Moog Recreation, which is very highly regarded for its analog modelling. We have the Gentleman, which I've played on one of my live streams and really enjoyed. This is a massive sample library of a classic upright piano. Really beautiful, lots of different sounds and timbres you can get from that one. And then Reactor Prism as well. I also did a demonstration of the free version of Reactor Prism. They have a light version as well. I forget the name, but that's one of the demonstrations that brought my channel to the attention of Native Instruments. But here you are getting the full-blown version of Reactor Prism, so perhaps I'll feature that one when we do the demonstrations later on in this video. But there's a few more instruments thrown into this bundle. You are getting Scarby Mark I. This is a sample library from a company called Scarby of the Fender Rhodes Mark I. And this is a few years old now, a bit long in the tooth perhaps, but still one of the finest sampled Rhodes you can get. It's a few gigabytes, perhaps several gigabytes large. Complete Control software then is what you use to integrate your hardware with the Native Instruments plugins and also third-party plugins. We'll get to that in a second. Also included then is a bunch of free stuff. Between you and me, you can download all of these for free anyway without buying any hardware. But there's stuff like Contact 6 Player and the Factory Selection, which is half decent. You've got Reactor 6 Player and the Factory Selection, which is very, very good. Reactor Blocks Wired is nice for you modular synth guys. Guitar Rig 5 Player I've demonstrated on the channel. I thought that was excellent with a Factory Selection, which was quite limited if I recall. And if that wasn't enough, they're going to give you €25 voucher to spend in the NI store. And there, I guess, you can buy these expansion packs containing construction kits, sounds, loops, and so on, in a variety of different genres. Now, this is very interesting, and I'm still not 100% sure what this actually is. It seems to be some kind of pattern-based loop sequencer where you can load different sounds, different plugins, create your beats, your grooves, and your loops, and build it up to be an entire track. It's like a mini DAW, and you can load this as a standalone application or as a VST within a host DAW. And that brings me on to another point here that I wanted to raise. You are not getting a DAW with this software bundle. A lot of the competitors include a light version of Ableton or perhaps a stripped down version of Cubase, but here you are not getting it. But they are giving you this machine software instead, which includes much of the functionality, look at this, of a digital audio workstation. But I haven't tried this out myself yet, so I can't really comment on how good it is or how well it works. But this you are getting as well, together with a, maybe we'll find some information here somewhere. I'm not seeing it, but you also get quite a large sample library here of loops and drum kit sounds as well. So it's all you need really to get started making music. I've got the prices for you here. Let's clear this up. This is in euros. 149 euros will be about $150 or 150 pounds. The prices are more or less the same now. For the A49, 199 euros. For, let's call it 200, shall we? For the 61, it's 250. NKS then. This is the format that Native Instruments have developed. It's a standard really for how plugins should tag and categorize their presets. I think that's what it's all about. Why don't we click on this button here? But here you can see some of the companies that support this format. There's quite a lot of third-party manufacturers now that are adopting NKS, Native Control Standard. It's basically an extended plugin format that connects software instruments and effects seamlessly to NI's Complete Control keyboards and machine hardware. Yeah, okay. You go here yourself and read about it if you want to know more. I like the graphics. You do get a MIDI cable, just in case you were wondering and it's important to you. There you go. I guess you probably need to install drivers for this to work. So I'm just going to plug it in now, but I'm probably going to get one of these driver not recognized or device not recognized errors. Let's see what happens. Ooh, light show that you sadly missed. Let's do that again. Okay, so it didn't install the drivers via plug and play, but that's not entirely surprising because this keyboard hasn't been released to the public yet. This is a pre-release unit that was sent to me ahead of time so that we can check it out here on my channel. But I did get a link with some installer files, so I'll do that now and we'll try again in a second. Look, there's a tiny little screen there that I can barely read with my dodgy eyes, but hopefully I'll be able to use the screen of the PC instead to see what I'm doing. I almost forgot, but I did want to highlight some of the features that are missing on this compared to the much more expensive Native Instruments S-Series controllers. The most obvious thing is that the two huge, I think they're OLED screens, are gone, of course, on this one. And also, that doesn't bother me at all, actually, because I've got the computer screen in front of me here, so I can just look at that one instead. I don't need to peer down at small screens on the keyboard itself. I much prefer looking at my computer screen. What else are we losing? There's a touch strip down here that's gone, I can see, on this model. Let me put a picture up on the screen so you can see the flagship controllers. Also, we are missing that LED light strip that runs along the top of the keys. That might seem a bit gimmicky to you, but I think it's rather cool to have the backlit keys, and it also illuminates in different colors to show you different keyboard zones, which might have different functionality on some of the NI plugins. They also emphasize on the website that the keybed of the S-Series is a pro-grade, very high quality FATAR action. I've never tried one, so I can't comment on that one, but this is a lesser quality keyboard action, but to me, feels just fine anyway. You'll also get a bigger software bundle with the more expensive controllers as well. In that case, NI will give you Complete 12 Select, which has even more instruments and sample libraries. That's the main differences as far as I can tell. Perhaps one day, if we reach any limitations on this particular unit, we can upgrade to the more expensive one. But for now, I think this one will be just fine. Okay, so some of you, those that are still watching, might be wondering why I called this video Unboxing and No Demo. Well, let me explain. Okay, so it's actually the next day now. I spent yesterday evening, trying to get this to work with my PC, and I was using unofficial drivers and software packages from Native Instruments since this isn't released yet and the software isn't quite ready. But I did discover that the installers didn't work with my Windows 7 PC. So it's a bit painful, obviously, to be an early adopter and be on the bleeding edge. But what are we going to do with this video? Well, I could put it on hold and then add the software demonstration when the software is ready. But that could be in 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't want to wait that long. So what I think we'll do is make this video a two-parter. Part 1 will just be my unboxing, presentation of the software and the hardware, and then we'll do a part 2 later when Native Instruments release the official software package, and that will be the demo and my review and verdict. So I'm very sorry if this was an anticlimax and you're feeling a little bit disappointed, but I do think it's better to break it into 2 videos because it does take a little while to get to know the instrument and do a decent demonstration, and it's impossible to do a review after you've just unboxed the thing. So all in all, I think it'll work out quite well. So let's try and wrap this up then. What did we learn from all of this? Well, I learned to check that the software actually works before you shoot and edit a lengthy unboxing and demo video. It does partly work, but I'm using the old version of the software, and a lot of the features like these knobs and the menu navigation aren't working properly. But I was able to play it for a little while last night, and I quite enjoyed it. The keyboard is quite a pleasure to play, and the feel of the instrument is really high quality at this price and even at any price. So yeah, well done on that. And that software bundle was pretty generous, so you could think of it like you're buying $200 worth of software and getting the controller for free. Okay, we are done for today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then give it 2 thumbs down. Yes, try that. Thank you very much for subscribing and leaving your comments. I'll see you again soon. Cheerio.